He just called out the entire NBA as Donovan Mitchell is fired up after the Cleveland Cavaliers has begun a league best start to the season. And frankly, there was a lot of doubters, a lot of haters coming the way of Cleveland, particularly to some of Mitchell's teammates, and he's had enough of it. So he called out everyone. We'll discuss that, including the Cavs starting off the season with some league best statistics, which are really turning heads and frankly are on path to really put themselves in the top tier, the upper echelon of NBA championship contenders. So lots of stuff to break down in this video, but before you do, folks, again, if you're part of the 88% of our viewers that haven't hit the subscribe button just yet, we are getting very, very close to our goal of 500 subscribers. So if you're enjoying the daily Cleveland Cavaliers coverage, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel so you don't miss a single thing that's happening regarding this team. And last night was an absolutely crazy victory for Cleveland over the New York Knicks. Obviously a team that, was projected, was brought in this season, was claimed to be a championship title contender, and still are, right? Like, it's early on in the season, things haven't worked out perfectly for the Knicks, but the fact that Cleveland Cavaliers are kind of getting overlooked and disrespected, they've had enough of that, and they had a dominant win last night, or a solid win, like a good, meaty win over the New York Knicks in that game, and basically, Donovan Mitchell is kind of sick of all the disrespect, a lot of the stuff that was thrown the way of the Cleveland Cavaliers to sort of start off this year, and he came out and called out everybody. He said, I just want everybody who is on that side to stay on that side when it comes to him, talking about Darius Garland. I don't want there to be a switch up. I know who a lot of y'all are, and basically there are times throughout the season, throughout your career, when you're going to have years like that. Obviously, he was going through a lot of things personally, and you have to grow. You have to figure it out, and a lot of people have and said he couldn't. So, and Donovan Mitchell obviously referring to Darius Garland here, who has just been on a blazing start to the beginning of this season. I mean, we can take a look at the stats last night. Darius Garland came out 12 and 19 shooting, 5 of 8 from the three-point line, knocking down his free throws, 34 points, had 3 assists, 2 steals, 2 blocks for Darius Garland as well, which is just another evolution, another addition, a boost you're getting from Darius Garland's game this season. But again, Mitchell mentioned kind of the personal stuff, and, I'm not airing anything out like that, but he was dealing with injuries last season. He was outspoken about how it was just really tough to bounce back from the injuries that he sustained, try to get into a rhythm, trying to come in, because he put in a lot of work, and this offseason as well, but even last season, putting on some muscle, building up the athleticism, and we're really seeing, obviously, people that thought Darius Garland wouldn't improve, wouldn't come back out there on the offensive end, it's kind of silly, right? Darius Garland's an all-star. He was a guy that really can be effective out there on the offensive end, has proven that over the course of his career. But what he's been able to do, the leap that he's been able to take on the defensive end has been ridiculous. And obviously his stats for last season were still pretty solid. I mean, 18 points, 2.7 rebounds, 6.5 assists, was a solid shooter and all that. But now those things are elevated, over the course of this year. Still a small sample size to really be bringing up season statistics, but for just this season. But Garland has really stepped up, has brought his game to the next level. And Donovan Mitchell's calling out the NBA. He's calling out NBA fans. He's calling out reporters. Everyone that was, bashing on Darius Garland, bashing on his game, for he's having none of it for the course of this season. Because, again, Darius Garland is an all-star caliber player, and everyone's talking about, his efficiency. He's talented, but he chucks and stuff like that. The guy, 12 of 19 shooting last night, effective from the three-point line, and is now playing defense on top of it. Again, if Darius Garland can stay healthy, he's an all-star caliber guard out there in the NBA, and really showed it against the New York Knicks last night in terms of, stepping up and really being dominant against that team. And frankly, the Cleveland Cavaliers just themselves, as a roster. Billy did a great game reaction. I won't dive into the complete box score and things like that, throughout this video. But overall this season, the Cavs have done some ridiculous things. Because, again, everyone's talked about the Cavs, the Sixers getting Paul George, the Knicks getting Cat, the Bucks getting, Gary Trent Jr., DeLon Wright, all those types of guys, the Taurean Prince acquisition, the Magic brought in KCP, the Celtics were a championship winning team last season. So a lot of the teams, there was stuff, and the Cavs, what did they do? Get a new coach, right? Get no real big acquisitions, nothing crazy happened in the offseason, but the same team, a team that nobody saw coming, but a team that fully believed they were on their way. And what's happening right now? They're first in points, first in field goals made, first in field goal percentage, first in true shooting percentage, second in three-point shooting percentage, second in offensive rating, fourth in defensive rating, and second in net rating. And it's led to a 4-0 record to start off this year. So they say that you need a top 10 defense and top 10 offense to contend, and the Cavs are top 5 in both. beware the Cleveland Cavaliers. So that was a nice tweet that came out there from, I'll pull up the name. Billy sent it over to me before I started recording. I cut off the top, so I want to give credit there. But basically, the Cleveland Cavaliers, they are off to a dominant season. We can see, like, big victories. And again, the Raptors, the Pistons, the Wizards didn't have high expectations coming in this year. The Raptors have been a sneaky good team, and they have, the Cavs absolutely just blew them out of the water. But the Knicks was a very, very just big, crucial win to put the NBA on notice for what the Cleveland Cavaliers are doing, because obviously Kenny Atkinson, right, has been unlocking different players out there on this Cavs roster, right? Mobley, 7-12 shooting from the field today. Didn't need any more of him. Had 7 points, 8 rebounds, just doing a lot of stuff out there, getting more touches this season, which is a positive, right? And when you have guys like, obviously Donovan Mitchell is going to get his 25, going to get his buckets every night, but Darius Garland playing the level he is, right? You share the flow, but even in a game like tonight, Mobley's still able to get 15, Allen's still able to get 15, and then Mobley 17, but off the bench too, there was some production, right? Sam Merrill's just an absolute bucket in terms of that 3-point shot. I feel like everyone he hoists up is going to go in. Karis LeVert stepping up in the absence of Max Strus, right? There's a lot of guys playing well, playing solid minutes for this team. Again, Yang was even a plus 14 yesterday's game, 1 of 4 from the 3-point line, but again, I think a lot of people are still up and down on the Georges Niang bandwagon, but really where the Cavs are going to set their mark, set their tone over the next few weeks, over the next really week or so, it's going to be their upcoming schedule. Because again, looking at this one, right, the Knicks is a massive win, but the first 3 wins are expected for the Cleveland Cavaliers at their position, but now it's going to really they lose every one of these games. I'm not going to be too stressed about the Cleveland Cavaliers. They're going to be able to bounce back, whatever's going on. But to really set the mark, set the tone early on in the season, to beat the Lakers, who have been extremely hot over the course of this year, the Orlando Magic, obviously a team with Paolo Banchero going off crazy out there for a 50-piece in a recent game, right? The Bucks, still the Milwaukee Bucks with Giannis Antetokounmpo. The Pelicans have been better this season, but don't have DeJounte Murray right now. The Warriors have stepped up. I mean, this is a tough sort of 6 games that the Cavs have in front of them over the coming nights. So again, the Cavs go, if they win them all, right, they continue the undefeated streak, then that's just going to be huge. The NBA no one can discredit anything that's going on with the Cavs. They go undefeated here. But if they go 4-2 over this stretch of games, being realistic and get some massive W's, right, then that's going to be a huge way to start off the season. I mean, they already started with the win against the New York Knicks, but now it's really gonna, the season's amping up. We're getting excited about these Cavs games here right now in terms of, what action is here in store for this team. We get Donovan Mitchell calling out all the haters, calling out all the doubters, especially like Darius Garland there at that front. And this team is just stepping up, and it's going to be a very, very fun season to follow. So let us know what you guys think in the comment section down below about this team. If you want to stay up to date with all this crazy madness that's about to ensue for the Cleveland Cavaliers, make sure to hit that subscribe button if you're a part of the 88%. Anyways, I'm signing out. Cheers.